Welcome back, everybody. The Teamfight Tactics Galaxies OCENA Finals presented by Juked. I am Doa, and with me are my esteemed video game colleagues, Becca, that's Primal, and Keen. And guys, one game to go. 4 games down, 1 game to go. We're going to take a look at the standings in a moment to see if anyone's locked, to see who has who has a chance to get through. But let's take a look at it first. And Keen, I'll go to you because you're our between game expert, our analyst desk of one, if you will. Check it out. What do you think about the listing so far? Seems like Robin Songs is locked from what we've heard, but what else do we have to talk about?
Yeah, very exciting to see. Besides the people who've been locked, so at this point, if you are below 12, I believe it's below 13. It seems like it'd be difficult. So there are a few people towards the bottom that are unfortunately eliminated, including Aegon, who struggled with some connectivity and power issues earlier. Yeah. So put some Fs in the chat for that one. I think it feels really bad to have that happen, obviously, but there's still a lot of competition available, especially in that middle B lobby right there. You're basically looking for a top 3 if you really want to secure your spot in the finals tomorrow. But in lobby A as well, the guys at the bottom are also kind of sweating a little bit, right?
For sure.
If you struggle, if you're at the 20-21 point mark and you struggle, some of those B players are going to overtake you. So there's still a lot to be played for here.
I mean, we got to talk about Obo, kind of, who has become sort of the OCE hope at this point. Raza and Chatskis, I suppose, still mathematically it's possible, but Obo has played a really, really solid day of games so far, and he's just got to finish out strong to be that OCE representative in the top 8.
Yeah, and it's probably a lot of pressure on him, right? Like he's the only guy from his region still in the running. But in the same side of the coin, he's also kind of free, right? Because I don't think anyone really was looking at him to dominate. So I think he should be really proud of his performance, regardless of how it ends up. But I'm personally actually hoping he advances to the next round.
With the way this community uses the word free, I don't know if that was the right word to use.
I mean, he is freed from the pressures, I suppose, of being a player people are targeting to take out, I suppose. I can see it that way, yeah.
Unshackled.
Yeah, wow. Primal saying that Obu is free. Wow, that's a
Reddit.
Headline.
That's a Reddit thread for sure, man. The disrespect towards the whole region. How dare you? Well, it's cool to see him do well, though, and this is what I love about like a esport that it is in its early days, right? Where you get to see a lot of people come up, and you never know when a tournament is going to have a player that you've never seen before that is going to really impress you. And I think Obo right now is definitely that player for me in this tournament. So we'll see if he makes it through the top 8. Either way, strong performance.
Absolutely. It's funny because I think for me, it's actually really cool to see Socks doing so well.
Yeah,
because he's kind of a player where near the end of sets, I think that's when he's strongest. He's just a learner, right? So once all the data is available, he just synthesizes it so well and just plays immaculate TFT. So it's really cool to see him doing as well as he is.
He has mastered the blade, if you will.
The best part about this tournament is that it's on a patch that everyone has had a chance to play on, and it's so flexible. So it really is rewarding the players that are, I think, taking full advantage of the game. And there's so many comps that are playable. We just watched Star Guardians win. We just watched Cybers do well. We watched Mechs do well. Astro Snipers. Bears Slash Brothers do well. So yeah.
Whoa. Nice recovery there.
But I mean, this is actually the best. I think this is the best competitive TFT tournament we've seen yet. I'm so sorry.
That was a great recovery. I don't know. Wow, and we're rewarded with an all-belt start on a treasure trove as we get into our last game of the day. Obviously, 3 games going simultaneously, but we are going to keep an eye on Group A. That is the highest points players. Yeah. And of course, Mismatched Socks talking about I believe the Ricky Martin song from the 1990s.
She bang, she bang.
Exactly. I knew someone would get it. Yeah. Definitely what he's talking about. So, belt start. We thinking protectors here? What about a Jarvan with a Warmog?
Yeah, I think the problem, so it's always interesting when everyone starts with the same item, because you kind of have this sort of duality where you want to go this comp because you have the item, but everyone else has the same item. So I think we're going to see people, if they don't get the early protectors, probably not go for protectors.
Fair enough. On board with Robin Songs right now, who is the only player currently locked into a spot in the final 8. So the pressure's off a little bit for Robin Songs. Like, you still want to finish strong. Like, if he can finish #1 in the standings overall, like, that is definitely like a badge of honor to wear there. But like, you know, in terms of actual pressure, he's making it to tomorrow. So this is kind of a little bit of a victory lap for him.
Yeah. And this is probably a huge confidence boost for him too, because now he's done really well in tournament after tournament, and you know, he knows he can win lobbies consistently. So tomorrow, when there's only 2 people who advance out of the 8, having the confidence that you can take first consistently is pretty huge for the mental component.
Yeah, and he's been #1 on the NA ladder before. He came 2nd place in the TL qualifier. That's how he got his spot here in the tournament today. But cool to see him do well. So, Becca, when you get an all-belt start, what are you thinking? What's your plan?
I'm thinking I'm in a good spot. the belt's really flexible. Actually, I never go for the belt, but I do know it's fine. So like, you know, when whatever your first pick item is, if your last items available are like 2 cloaks or something, you feel really bad. But if there's a belt as an option, you never feel bad. So that's how I know that the item's not like the item's great to start with anyway. But I mean, which item do you guys prefer starting with on the first carousel? I like tier. I think it's the most flexible.
I would say it's objectively the best item to start with right now, because like you said, it just goes into so many different things. I actually like to start bow because I've really been enjoying playing Blade Masters lately, so I've been going for that. But I think objectively, and I want to hear your top 3. Oh, Infinity Edge on Bane.
Rumble 2 already on 2-1.
Oh wow!
And he has a Nico on his bench.
That's a decent start. I want to hear your top 3 items though for carousel. For me, it goes tier, gloves, bow. What do you think? That's final.
I personally, so I think what you start is less of a matter of what's good versus bad, although cloak is like always bad, and it's more a matter of what comps you like to play. So because I like Siders so much, and I also like playing mech, I'm totally fine with glove. I also like chain because sometimes I'll play Jinx. So those are sort of my personal top 2.
Well, now we have to find out what your 2 and 3 are, Becca.
Tier, gloves, and then I don't. I guess I like I like the rod because of the potential for Space Jam.
All right, I can respect that. Yeah.
Space Jam is the most exciting comp. I was so excited when Set 3 was announced and Space Jam was there, especially with the resets on Darius. Set 3 was so fun. Right when they announced it, it was so fun.
Yeah, like when Space Jam first came up, that was a really fun build to play.
Yeah.
I played a lot of it.
Socks very vocal in chat. You know,
he's upset about the Rumble too, dude. I would be too.
He's trying to distract people. He's just trying to get in their heads right now.
Yeah, you know, actually, I was thinking. All right, just bear with me for a second. What if we had trash talk in TFT, right? Because it's like poker in the sense that it's a shared table.
Like, doesn't a lot of trash talk in TFT?
I think we have a ton. Yeah, I think we got a lot. And I agree with what you're saying though, where it's like it's an instrumental, strategic sort of. Wow, that is Rumble too. That's insane. But it's an interesting or important strategic tool sometimes to use is to try to get in your opponent's head. So, like you mentioned, Primal, that it's good in poker. I think it's good in TFT as well. I think that's a good point.
I'm talking mic'd up, in game. I'm not like, you know, I'm typing BG stuff, you know, some real trash talk. But anyway, that's not this tournament, so.
Sounds like the possibility for another tournament.
Yeah.
Trash talk, mic'd up, invitational.
Okay.
Maybe for a fun event.
But I would say arguably after like Skara, the biggest TFT streamer is Soju. And Soju is a huge trash talker. It's definitely in the TFT culture.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But does he trash talk tournaments? Like in the game?
I think we saw Kurom say you're bad to his friend at the end, right? But I mean, I think it's just like super wholesome trash talk.
Well, all these guys, you know, most of these guys are like friends. Yeah, exactly. They're all practicing together and like sharing discoveries and things like that. So I think 99.9% of it is all done in good fun, which is how it should be, of course.
Yeah, which is the best kind of trash talk. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Maybe at Worlds when it's different regions and they don't know each other, we'll see the real heavy stuff come out. But
one can only hope.
one can only hope. But yeah, this is a really high roll lobby with that Rumble 2 already. But I think the interesting thing is the Rumble.
Socks stole the bow from Robin Songs. He was definitely going for it, and Socks was just waiting.
Wait, so has Blade chosen him then? Because he has a Yi, right?
Possibly. I mean, I think Robin wanted it to, get like the Last Whisper online at some point, but we'll see. We're going to go over to Polt's view, a player we have not been able to highlight yet tonight. So great, we're finally getting to take a look at him. And Polt has a very interesting style, and he's had one for a long time, where he plays a strongest board style, but he plays it in a way where he will level more aggressively than nearly anyone else in the game. And just really, really focus on win streaking no matter what. Like, there is no such thing as a lost streak in Polt's world, it seems like.
For me, Polt had the most insane game that I had ever seen. He was at 32 health super early in the game. I think at like stage 3 or early stage 4. So he's like 32-ish health, maybe less. And he was playing 2 Bard 2s and a Bard. So he does not care. He did not care about anything but getting higher level. And I don't think anyone has the nerve to play 2 Bard 2s and then like 3 Bards on a board when you're that low health. And then he came back and got either second or first. And it was the most amazing comeback I'd ever seen. And then I realized he's just probably one of the most creative players on NA. Or at least the most willing to just go for the big play. So it's really exciting to watch Polt play.
Well, he's always been like such an intelligent player in like any esport he's touched over the years. And when he was a professional in the past in other games, he was also going to like one of the most prestigious universities in Korea at the same time. So he was managing that and also being a pro gamer. So the guy is just like incredibly smart, and he always seems to see the game a little bit differently from other people. But that said, despite his cool style and his ladder results, he has not been super great in tournaments yet this year. So in fact, today is, I think, one of the best, if not the best tournament performance I've ever seen from Polt. So that is an area where, he's struggled a bit. And so it's neat to see him turning it around a little bit for today.
Yeah, I agree. It kind of does call into question the merits of his style versus other styles. Because with this very win streaky style, the sort of trade-off is you don't typically get perfect items, which is kind of a condition for taking first a lot of the time.
True.
So it's going to be interesting, right? Because for today, it's totally fine to just top 4 consistently and not win any lobbies. But for tomorrow, where you need to top 2 to advance, you do need to win. So I'm interested to see if Polt has sort of made his style a little bit more broad so that he can play that sort of more loose streak incorporating perfect item style and take first, because that's what he's going to be needing if he wants to go to Worlds.
Yeah, his results have been 2-3, 4-3 today. So very consistent, but like you mentioned, no first yet.
Did you guys notice Polt just kept tabbing back and forth between 2 players that had virtually the same setup? It's like a Jarvan one, and I think with Warmogs on both of their boards with the Xin in the front and the same carries in the back. But he just kept doing it, I think, to emphasize the lack of creativity there.
I feel like he was really trying to not build a Warmogs, but like there's only so much you can do when there's 3 belts sitting on your bench there.
Yeah.
It's kind of an awkward scenario, right? Because he has a full Guardian Angel on his bench. So you had to kind of decide, do I want to make a Warmogs on the Ionic Darius or on the GA Darius? And I think it's correct to make it on the Ionic Darius, because Warmogs is sort of like a ghetto Guardian Angel.
Sure.
So I think this made sense, but it's kind of awkward for him, especially since he's trying to streak.
Well, given that he's playing sorcerers as his other synergy too, it makes sense to get that like little damage boost that the MR Shred gives you as well, even though it's not as much as it used to be. It's a little bit rough though, taking some damage early.
Yeah, it's gonna be tragic if he never hits a Darius too and has
right?
There the whole time.
Why, or just play both.
Not both.
Yeah. Have you guys played 2 Darii in the thing or in a round? It feels really good because one goes and cleaves and then the other one just cleans up.
Yeah, they're kind of synergistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they both ult at the same time and they both get the reset.
Oh, that's amazing.
I didn't know that. Oh, I suppose if they both reset different people, that makes sense. Or
No,
can they do
sometimes
it on the
as they're
same person?
dying. So if Darius is ulting, I think as if Darius is ulting a unit as it dies, it still gives them the reset. So
Interesting.
yeah.
And then sometimes both your Darius attack the Warmog's GA Nico. And that happens.
Yeah,
Again,
and then
not
you're
ideal.
like, oh, yeah. Why did I ever to pick up this unit?
Yeah. It's like you'd think one Darius would be smart enough to not attack the Warmog's GA Nico, but nope. Oh well.
Yeah. It's always interesting watching Polt, because whereas other players, like, they form like a pretty clear picture of where they're trying to go relatively early. With him, because he's trying to emphasize this win streaky style, he's just playing the strongest board he can and not necessarily holding units. So you never really know what he's going to end up with. I would say with these items, something, you know, oriented around GP, whether it's Rebels or just straight up Space Pirate, is the natural extension of this board. But yeah, what do you guys think? Where does he go from here?
I mean, he's a little bit late to the Nico game. Somebody else already has that. Otherwise, those Darius items could work fine on Nico as well.
I think when we look at his bench, I think we just look at his bench and it looks like a Space Pirates, or he's keeping his like mech option open. That's what it looks like to me, at least. I mean, why would you hold the Graves? I guess. I mean, you have the
That's a good
gold.
question.
Um,
Shout out to all of our LCS Academy viewers who have dropped in. Hey guys, if you haven't played TFT yet, you should, because it's awesome. Hopefully you enjoy watching it.
And it's probably not Cybers. He's holding the Leonas, but he didn't pick up all the other Cybers in his bench. I think it's Space Pirates or Mech. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. It's hard to see him going any other direction. But he is in Treasure Trove, right? So he's gonna get a lot of items. So options are gonna open up for him.
Yeah,
so.
I would say we don't pigeonhole pull into any build yet because of the kind of player he is.
Just wanted to throw out there as well for all of our LCS Academy viewers as well. I am Doa. With me is Becca, and that's Primal. And we've been calling the games tonight, and they've been exciting. You are coming into the last game of the evening here at the Teamfight Tactics Galaxies OCENA Finals, presented by Juked. It's been a great night. We're going to find out who goes to the top 8 tomorrow after this game. So hopefully you guys stick around and enjoy.
Yeah, this has been the most competitive TFT tournament we've had, and I'm all for it. This is the most exciting competitive gameplay we've had, where I honestly feel like any player could win.
Yeah, it's the top 8 tomorrow is going to be really interesting because everyone who makes it, and we only know one player so far who's making it through. Only Robin Songs, who's currently in second place in this game, is locked in a spot for the final 8 tomorrow. But whoever makes it through, it's going to be a hyper competitive series for sure.
Yeah, and Ubo or Oba, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. He's sitting in last right now. I haven't seen his board, so I'm not sure if he's just loose streaking with a lot of gold. But he's one of the players who is closer to the borderline of top 8. So it's pretty important that he finishes high here, just to talk a little bit about the stakes. So I'm really interested to see, is he in a position to take a top 4, which probably advances him, or is he struggling right now?
It's a scary prospect to take anything less than a top 4, I think, right now. If you're Obo, who's currently, I believe, sitting at 21 points overall, and that makes him makes him comfortable, but barely. He still needs to have a solid game, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That said, what'd you notice?
Oh, I was just gonna say, so Grand Vice, going back to speaking, playing flexibly, he just has carried this rumble and decided, I'm gonna make a Thieves Glove on this dude. The interesting thing with Thieves Glove is it's a really good item, but it doesn't really give you all that much direction. That said, if he's planning on running something like Jinx, which he might be, because he has a Giant Slayer also and has Rebels, it's actually really good, because late game you can put that on a Yi or someone like that who can use the items well. And again, on Treasure Trove, another reason I love this map, he will probably get the other supporting items he needs, so he doesn't have to worry too much about 2 components being kind of not great for Rebels.
True. Mismatched Socks, we're seeing playing the Blade Master build, going towards 6 BM with the Master Yi. And you know what? He's got the Hand of Justice on Master Yi, which I think has really emerged as a great alternative item to buff Yi. He makes really great use of it.
Yeah, I was just recently talking about Hodge and how it's made out of a tear and a glove, which are really contested items, but it wasn't very great, you know. But now that they've changed it, you know, you wouldn't expect a great item and a great item to make a mediocre item. But now that I think the change is really healthy for the game.
Yeah,
Now you don't feel bad about having to use those items like in that manner.
It's really useful now, and it's useful on basically everybody, which is a nice change. So Nico's help being found by Replay here. It was another player that we have not had as much time to check out tonight, but a player that's been playing extremely well today to make it to this lobby A in the very final game of the night.
Yeah, and he's in a pretty nice position. Hitting that shop was actually really good for him in terms of giving him the rebels that he wants to transition out of brawlers into eventually. Hopefully, I really want to see a Jinx player do well. So maybe he'll be able to do it from this spot, considering he's pretty healthy, has a ton of gold to roll down. And he decided, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and commit a Runon's. Runon's Hurricane is a pretty solid item on Jinx because it helps her get her resets faster. So I like that he's just deciding, okay, we don't have ideal items for Jinx, but let's just work with items that are okay enough and probably focus on getting the Gangplank items for late game.
Yeah, that's the biggest shift I think I've seen in Rebels is that like people don't prioritize the Jinx items as much as often as they used to. It's definitely switched over to a GP or a frontline focus or even ASOL focus or early and solo focus.
Well, also another thing with building the Runins early on the Kog'Maw is that you get like a lot of extra battlecast procs then with that. Because he's hitting more people, that makes the battlecast ability activate more often. So it just kind of shores up your mid game a little bit. And like you guys are mentioning too, it's not terrible on Jinx either. So it's just kind of a smoother transition if you can build that on the Kog'Maw early.
Ooh, that reposition had me scared for a second. I actually thought the Zephyr might hit Cog, but it did not. So it's pretty clean by Replay, but he is taking a lot of damage these rounds.
Everybody else has come to hit Kog'Maw now, so it turned out rough for Replay anyway.
Yeah, he's super rich. He only has to use 12 gold to get to 8. He has so much money to roll.
Yeah,
but he is contested. I think GV8 is also going Rebels.
So it's tough too because he's down to 36 HP already as well.
It's not like he can switch out early.
Yeah. So I'm a little concerned for him because I think if he doesn't hit Jinx,
hey,
still no GA, but that's good. If he doesn't hit Jinx, he's gonna be in for a rough time because he doesn't even have a Cog 2, and usually Cog 2 is a unit you can play all the way until you have Jinx 2, honestly. But he doesn't even have that to hold space for him.
Yeah. Nar2, is there a way you can fit it in quick here? Did you get it in? No, he didn't.
That's rough. And Jinx 2. Not looking good for Replay.
Yeah, this is like against the Rumble, that's pretty solid.
Oh man.
May not matter that much. That's just a Jinx 2 is just going to be so strong to run into at this point in the game. He also has a Rebel Shen, which is a really, really strong front line in that it's just going to last even longer because you've got the shield, then you've got the Shen ultimate causing everybody to dodge, and then you've got Shen just like living long enough to potentially do another one too.
This is a feels bad game.
Yeah.
For Replay.
You just see the other guy with the better version of your comp, basically.
There's a Jinx.
Yeah.
Not a good item on her. I don't think you take it. I don't think you take that. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I just think, you don't take that Jinx. That's not good enough.
Agreed. Not with Belt.
Yeah.
And the even sadder thing is he has the Gangplank, but he doesn't have a GA, and he doesn't have components for a GA. So
rough.
I don't know. This is a tough one. I don't know how you play out of this position if I'm Replay. He definitely has to keep rolling. Because he at minimum needs to hit a Cog 2 to stabilize. Otherwise, he might not even make it these next 2 rounds.
The danger too for Replay is that he's towards the bottom of some of the top players, if that makes any sense. So it's going to be really easy for other players who are kind of in the middle of the standings right now to overtake him for that top 8 spot. So it's kind of the tournament on the line for Replay right now, and he's got to find something better than that. Faster impact is nice, but your GP is just not going to be able to cast right now. So with such a low gold count, it hurts, but I'm not surprised you pass that up. That's
Agreed.
rough. You don't want to pass it up. It feels bad. Like you heard Becca, like that was what I was feeling on the inside too, where I was like, no, it's faster impact, but you got to pass it up right now.
No, I mean, you just see him having to pass up on all these pairs, like Zed pair, Ezreal pair, because he's just looking for the core. Like,
Right.
oh, this is so rough.
Oh no, and
It's
to
so
add,
relatable.
yeah, and to
Marcus
add
has
insult to injury, the GP ran to the right and ulted. Oh my god, nothing's hitting, not even the
Oh,
RNG. So this is rough.
when it rains, it pours, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Replay takes another big shot. He is on the verge of being eliminated here, and with that result, we'll find it very difficult to make it into the top 8 lobby tomorrow. We won't know for sure until we see the results at the end, but it is going to be tricky. And you might as well build the Kog'Maw too at this point. You still haven't found the Jinx.
GP2. You can also GP2 right now.
Yep, he's got the Nikos.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, is that Jinx one going to be as strong as the Cog 2 would have been?
Oh no.
I got to put items on the Jinx now. Yeah.
Oh man.
Items a little bit late on the Jinx there as well. The Runins, especially going on last, might prevent Jinx from resetting. But you know what? Looks like it might be okay here.
Yeah, I mean GP2 is a huge spike.
Yeah.
So if he can keep his GP safe,
let's go.
Let's go Replay.
Ooh, that was close.
He can survive a few more rounds and maybe find the Jinx too. That would be the saving grace. So he's just playing that round by round at this point.
Yeah. All right. Well,
redemption.
I mean, he made it to the Arc Raptors at least, so he's got a chance to just sort of like take a breather, see what items he gets, grab a little bit more gold, and see what happens on 5-1.
Get that GA. Woo.
Yeah, seriously. Sword and a chain vest.
And a dream.
That's right.
It is treasure trove.
Okay.
Sword.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, we got
I
it.
got excited. He got it. He got it.
Is
Wow.
it saved? There's another blue orb too.
There's another orb. Get the.
Is it saved?
Oh my god,
GA.
this GA and
GA
Morello.
Warmogs is good on
Morello?
Warmogs is good on GP, but yeah, you're right. Maybe you just go Rebel too.
No. There's no Warmogs,
No.
is there?
I meant Morellos. Did I say Warmog? I meant Morellos. Yeah.
Yeah, no
He's got a
problem.
belt.
The sad thing though is GA and Redemption are like the least synergistic items possible.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah, so
Very
hey,
good
I
point.
hit GP2 with GA, but the Redemption's kind of dead now.
As a streamer, when someone comes in and sees your GA with Redemption and doesn't realize you had no other choice,
Yeah.
you just get
Right.
flamed so hard.
It's like, wow, I guess this player's a scrub. It's like, no, you didn't see it 5 minutes ago.
And then you feel so silly trying to defend yourself.
Yeah, it's like, have you considered? It's like, yes, I considered.
It's all right.
Did you know?
They don't have the ability to think back that far. It's not your problem to worry about it.
All right,
Fighting through the shrooms.
Socks is 2 away from the E3.
Yeah. That's huge. If he hits E3, Master E3 star is a win condition a lot of times for this comp. So if you can find it, it could be a first, which would be great for making sure he gets into the top 8.
Yeah, it's funny because I think Socks has been playing Yi reroll a lot this tournament, and I think it's just a testament to how solid of a player he is overall. Because I think when you think traditionally, when you think Socks, you think of him more as like the ultimate flex player, can play any comp, but usually not going for reroll. But the fact that he's able to learn reroll, master that, play game after game, seemingly mostly uncontested, is really a testament to how good he is.
I'm looking at his tournament scores all day, just so solid.
And it seems like Six Blade Master with the Yi carry is one of the most forcible comps, I guess you could say, in the meta right now. In that you can lose a lot of HP early, but as soon as you get a strong Master Yi online, you can just start win streaking back and a lot of times take a top 4. And you can see his scores right there on the screen. 4 top 4s, a first and a second. Like that's a really, really strong set of results for Mismatched Socks.
Yeah. And it's funny because the biggest there you go.
One more.
I am excited.
He's gonna hit it. Yeah, he's definitely gonna hit it at some point.
Keeps going, right?
Yeah.
He keeps going.
All right.
At least down to like 40.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. All right. Now you're good. Yep. It's a first.
It's a first.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that's interesting about tournament meta versus ladder meta also is people are much less likely to contest you on a comp if it's a reroll comp, particularly if they know that you're a player who likes to play this comp. Because when you contest, it's kind of like this game theory suboptimal, like you just hurt yourself and the person playing. So I think with Socks is actually pretty smart. Like we joked about him saying in chat what he's gonna do, but it's actually pretty smart for him to broadcast that. Because now other people are going to leave Yi alone for him to play.
Yeah, generally, because you don't want to be the person that, you don't want to be the other person with a master Yi 2 and like almost Yi 3. Right.
Exactly.
Oh man, I mean, Socks is win streaking, and just his Yi, it's looking really good for him.
Yeah.
And he even won that round without the Rebel buff because he misplaced the Aurelia just a little bit at the end and didn't get the 3 Rebels in the triangle.
Yeah.
It is really cool. I mean, Doa brought it up, but Socks definitely does not like rerolling comps. He's like notoriously against rerolling comps. So it's cool that he can just pull it out, just own with it.
Yeah.
And we've seen players focus on 6 Blade Masters as like the tournament plan recently as well. Crowan in the Mort Dog Top 4 Madness tournament just played Blade Masters every single game. He just decided that's what he was going to try to force. And it didn't end up working out for him, but he had like some good games in there. And part of that was due to him scouting the other players in that lobby and seeing that they didn't play as much Blade Masters. So he was deducing that he could get it uncontested a lot of times. But I think as far as a tournament game plan, coming into it, planning on trying to play Blade Masters as much as possible seems pretty feasible at this point.
Yeah, I think so. And particularly because other players, because it's a limited pool, they're going to know you by reputation as playing that. So it just kind of frees things up. And it probably also helps to show that in your match history pre-event.
True.
I just want to note, checking in at the bottom of the standing. So Replay was out. Unfortunately, it looks like hitting the GA on GP was just not enough to stabilize him. And Polt went out 7-4.
Polt.
Yeah, I think we were talking a little bit about, does he have direction? It might have been that he failed to get direction or hit the units he needed with the items that he had.
So that would mean Polt, may have enough to stay in, but it is going to be a little bit tricky. We'll have to wait until after the game to get that all calculated. But Polt on the bubble for sure.
Yeah.
He came into this game a little bit higher in the standings than Replay, so he's got a better chance than Replay, certainly, of making it through. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Either way, like I think it's hard to imagine Socks losing this lobby at this point. I know that now that I've said that, he'll probably lose a round, but like usually E3, he's got great items, is a win.
Yeah, I mean the biggest threat to him right now is CC. Because he doesn't have a QSS, which is correct because usually CC is not a big deal with Master Yi if you position correctly, but that's about the only thing I can imagine creating.
Yeah, but Shroud is, Socks is too good at positioning. I mean, you just saw his Shroud is just perfect to like avoid CC on his Yi. It's just like, he's too good at positioning.
So Marcus is out in 6th as well. So another player that's going to be on the bubble a little bit. And Marcus has performed so well in so many tournaments recently, but both in the Team Liquid qualifier and also in the C9 qualifier was just on the outside of getting into this event through that. He made it through his ladder score, but it's tough because he's such a great player, but his tournament results have always seemed to be like just barely not enough, despite the fact that he gets into a lot of finals lobbies. So we'll see if this is enough this time.
Yeah, I mean, this is a crazy stack lobby. And the top 4 here is actually players who've been doing well all tournament.
Look at that triple GS Jinx.
Wow. All right, GS stacking time. Yeah.
Hope no one's playing mech because you're about to get 2-tapped.
For Socks, what is the last unit he puts in at 9? Is it just ASOL or some good 5-cost carry for sure, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's generally what the synergy is going to be. Sometimes Fizz is good just to get the infiltrator buff online with
the Echo's already in with
he's already in. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Well then just find a 5-cost.
Oh, look at the GV8's owning.
Oh, you're right. All right. So I think a big part of it there was the CC, and you mentioned it earlier, Becca, and this is definitely true. Like the number one thing that can handle the 6 Blade Master comp is crowd control, and you combine that with the fact that there is a Master Yi too on Grandvice's board as well. So he's got a little bit of that same strength because that Yi does have some pretty good items because it's treasure trove. And that might be the match that Socks is going to struggle with a little
The
bit.
final boss.
Could be. Obo from Oceania out in 5th. Robin Song's out in 4th. So there is some room for the standings to shake up a little bit here.
At this point, everyone's holding jinxes, right? No one's. If anyone sees a jinx, they're holding it.
You should be. I think so. All right. Here's the E3 board. Socks going up against the Rebels board here of Grand Vice. Yeah. This is the real thing, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that GPL. Oh my goodness.
I mean, the GP has upgrades too. So it's actually pretty difficult as long as GV8 positions his GP on the same side as Master Yi. It's going to be really difficult because as mentioned before, there's no mitigation of CC when you don't have QSS, and that's just one of the weaknesses of the Yi comp and the way people are building it now. So if there's an opening, this is it. But I think it should be pretty straightforward for Socks to just dodge the GP if Grand Vice is committed to GP being in the Rebel clump.
So Cottontail out in 3rd, and that's a lot of points for him, and he was already at a pretty good rate. So I think he has a fairly decent chance of making it through. But again, we're going to have to wait and see. But still a strong finish for Cottontail if he wants to get into the final lobby tomorrow.
Oh, okay. So one thing to note here, this Shen positioning was so good by Socks here because Shen just tanks basically all the damage from the jinxes. And again, him putting his Yi in the corner instead of on the same side as GP allowed him to completely turn down that fight. So really, really good adjustment. I think GV8 needs to be willing to detach his GP from the rest of the team. So I think this positioning is making him A, predictable, and B, really easy for Master Yi to get out of range of.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Because Socks is just actually probably the best positioner, or at least is so good at thinking through his positioning in NA. But oh man, I'm excited because he was definitely losing all these fights until he started positioning, and it just proves that there's a lot of skill involved for TFT, especially at this level.
Oh yeah, the 1v1s are always my favorite part of the game because positioning is so impactful, and you have to do it fast, right? You have to try to do it in a way where they can't react to it. So
yeah, and the
minute
mind
swap.
game, the mind game.
Exactly.
Look at the.
Why is this jinx?
Wait, Teamfight is Mia pinging himself.
Yeah, he messed up.
All right. Well, can the Yi survive? We will see. Grand Vice says,
the cheeky little oops.
Yep. Oh no, Yi, can he do it? He can.
Oh,
and GV8, oh, he's still in it.
The protagonist, GV8, let's go.
The preemptive winner GG from Mismatched Socks. Oh, now it's on.
Yeah. Here, I would love to see GV8, especially since he hasn't been moving his Zephyr to catch Yi. I would love to see him try to Zephyr Yi.
Right.
A, I don't think Socks is looking for it. And B, I think that's just going to be more valuable.
You don't think Socks is looking for the Zephyr?
No, everyone's mortal. And I think it would be a less predictable play at this point, but we'll see.
Oh, well, it's probably not going to hit Yi this time, at least. It's going to hit somebody in the front line. Looks like he's going to get the Wukong over on the side, which is not the best target. We will see. Oh, big shot on the Master Yi, but he heals up so fast. Here comes the Urgot. What's it going to grab? Oh, it grabbed the Aurelian Soul. The Urgot ate the Aurelian Soul. Is it going to be enough? That Jinx is doing a ton of damage. No, it's not enough. We're still going. It's not done yet.
The Jinx one-shot that Yi. He was so healthy.
That Jinx, holy. That was crazy.
This is one of the best 1v1s I've seen in a while.
Fun.
It's so close. Is Grand Vice going to get the 1 HP win here?
Okay, but I hard disagree that Socks is not looking at that Zephyr. I feel like all his brain cells, every single sweaty brain cell in Socks' mind is thinking about that Zephyr.
I think he is, right? But I think what I'm more saying is that the Zephyr positioning has been really predictable every round, right? He's prioritizing the Rebel buff over the Zephyr positioning. So I think if GV8 did something like held the Yasuo, look for the Yi position, and last second break from the clump, it would actually be a pretty unexpected move. That's hard to anticipate. So we'll see. But obviously,
there it is.
I'm not going to forget the Zephyr, but it doesn't mean he can't outplay.
GP2. He found it. And you'd have to sell the Urgot to put it in. He's got to do that, right?
Okay, but this is awesome because this is
There it is.
#1 NA Sweat versus #2 NA Sweat. I feel like it's #1 and 2 like interchangeable sweats.
Maximum
This is so
sweat.
good. I love
All
this.
right, well, Yee's on the other side. Is he a little bit safer here? We'll see. Ezreal not lasting long. Big ultimate from Gangplank. Oh my goodness, Yee. Yee versus the world. But that Jinx is going to finish him off. Sox takes another shot. And he's out. GV8 with the 1 HP win. The sweatiest 1v1 we have seen yet in Teamfight Tactics.
So sweaty. That was so
was-
fun. I'm awake. I'm ready for 5 more matches now. Are you guys ready for 5 matches? So awake.
I'm
Same.
hyped. Let's keep going. It's only 10 p.m. We know that it's just early in the day for the Oceania players. I'm sure they can keep going.
Okay,
I'm good here too.
you knew Sox was gonna lose after he early GG'd, and then GV8 won, survived with 1 HP. He's the anime protagonist.
I'm not going to say it's poetic justice, but I don't know. Keen, you watched all that go down. You watched some of the other games. What do you have to say?
That was really exciting to see. Lobby 2 was also really fun to watch. It was a Kiyun Kuram finish. It's going to be a big. I'm thinking it's going to be a pretty big NA Final 8, but it was really cool to watch
Seems that way.
last one there. Grand Vice again.
Grand Vice, Kiyun, and Esha winning games. So Esha, despite a really rough day in terms of results overall, finally coming back and winning one in the very last game. So a bit of a moral victory for Esha in the end.
Dude, look at Esha's face in that picture. What a silly boy, Esha.
That's the I won after being super low, unfortunately, all day face. But he gets it done. He gets a win. And you can see the results for our lobbies, our final set of lobbies for the night. In Lobby B, Kiyun took first place, Kurimex close behind, and Chatsky's from OCE getting third there. That might be impactful. Meanwhile, Esha, Spencer, Simple Plan. Players had struggled all day. That lobby not going to be a big deal, I think, in the end. But still feels good to place high in a game of TFT, no matter the state, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think toward the end of the day, it looks like the players who were dominating, who at the beginning, they sort of just stayed dominating throughout the end, right? If we look at the last, at Lobby A, the top 4, those are players who are doing well every single game. So we saw a lot of consistency out of the best players, and makes me super excited to see if they're able to maintain that consistency going into tomorrow.
Right. So at this point, we are just waiting to see what the final results are going to be for the top 8. And I'm like stressed out about this right now, guys, because there were so many players that had a shot at like making it into the top 8. And so players like Polt right now and Marcus are like totally sweating at the moment because they had good points, but was it enough? After the low placements in the final lobby, it's gonna be crazy.
I don't know. Did you caster curse Polt? I mean, we were kind of hyping him up a lot.
Oh, we definitely cast him.
Don't put that on me, Keen. Don't you
might
dare.
have poured it in there. I was very sad to see that happen to him as well. I do want to give a shout out, especially to GV8, who going into this day, all of us were really high on GV8. Everybody was expecting him to do well. That's a lot of pressure. And he rose up to the occasion, and I believe he finished either first or second in points overall. Really fantastic day from GV8. Well played, my guy.
Well, Grand Vice has been playing in tournaments since like 2019, and honestly, that's not long ago. That's like less than a year ago. But in terms of TFT, that's another life, basically. Yeah. Like he was grinding tournaments in set 2, so he's due.
So good
for another game.
It's so encouraging as a TFT player, where a lot of people try to say that TFT is just all RNG. There's like no skill. To see that the ladder. The NA ladder is pretty much all at the top. It just proves that skill is so important in this game. But there was a round where GB had his Jinx in the front line and he said oops, but he still managed to have like overall the better game, I guess.
Well, it was an anime BM, it's like in the anime, the main character makes like a big mistake, and then they almost like face consequences
settles, and then you see him still standing.
The music comes on.
Yeah. That was way more hype as a result. Went on 1 HP. That's way better.
Socks just activated his trap card. That's all.
So we were talking earlier about whether we like Jinx comps, Rebel comps, or not, and I think me and a couple of us, we just don't really like playing the Jinx comp, and I really feel like the thing that we were missing out is that you have to play 2 Jinxes. That seems to be the answer. It's
One
just
isn't enough.
Sure, and look at these items though. He had a Thieves Gloves on one of the Jinx, and then triple Giant Slayer on the other Jinx too. Like that is an insane amount of damage. Not to mention, again, this is all treasure trove stuff, but GA Rebels Gangplank, that's pretty good. Aurelian Soul with Ludens and Hextech, that's also pretty good. Like just a lot of good items on good champions here for this board.
Do you feel like he would have won if he didn't hit that GP on that last roll there?
I don't know. That's a good question, because to a certain extent it's a crowd control setting up the Jinx for the damage, but the GP2 damage certainly comes through as well. So hard to say. What do you guys think?
Definitely the anime moment in there, right? Is get the roll and with the last bit of gold, get the GP2, you win the fight. Everything was set up for him.
The triple Giant Slayer Jinx is just too good.
Oh, good.
True. All right, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. The standings are ready. Let's see who makes it to the final lobby tomorrow. It's going to be on the left side of your screen. Drum roll, please. Robin Songs, Grand Vice, Mismatched Socks, Cottontail, Polt, Kyun, Kurum, and Ubo make it through to day number 2. So big win for Oceania. They get one of their guys through. Meanwhile, that is perhaps the most stacked lobby of Teamfight Tactics I have ever seen. That is going to be an absolutely insane finals tomorrow.
That's crazy.
That is hype.
That
is a hype lobby.
All the biggest streamers, all the biggest personalities, all the top ELO players. This is the lobby that we've been playing all year for.
Right. Pro gamers from other games coming in, making a name for themselves in a TFT as well. When it comes to like Polt and stuff like that. The prophecy has been fulfilled with Mismatched Socks making it, I think, where people are wondering like, when's Mismatched Socks gonna have another big tournament? Well, guys, looks like it's this one. We'll see if you can keep it going for tomorrow. We're gonna get, it sounds like if we can, we're gonna get Robin Songs in the call for a bit of a post-day interview. But in the meantime, let's talk about some of the other players here. Obviously, rough finish for Marcus 35 to be just 2 points out of making that final 8. That is rough. Soju, again, a player that has crushed the ladder all year round, but has just struggled a little bit in tournaments, not making the cut either. And players like, I hate to say it, Becca's own teammate, Delicious Milk as well. One of the best players in the game, easily, but just not getting it done today, unfortunately.
So I just need to say, if the most for fun player in the final lobby is Kyun, I think that just means it's a sweaty, awesome lobby, and I'm so excited to watch tomorrow. Kyun is definitely in this lobby the most for fun, and he's not even that for fun. He's such a freaking good player. He's so fast. His APM's really good. He's always positioning so well. He's the most for fun in this lobby. This is so exciting. I'm really excited for tomorrow.
It's going to be maximum sweat for sure. We've got Robin Songs in the call with us right now. Can you hear us right now?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, we can. Hey, congratulations, man. Out of all these players, you have the most points out of everyone. How did you do it?
How did I do it? Honestly, I practiced a lot, like the past 3 days. Just kept playing solo queue and asking. I added top players. I added the rank 1 player Jigglypuff King, asked for advice. I added because my plan was actually to just play Astro Snipers.
Okay.
And then so I added Jigglypuff King because he just spams Astro Snipers. He's rank 1. And then this other guy called Zephyr Me, he's rank 9. I added him too and just got some tips. So that helped me a lot. And yeah, just practicing this whole week. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So second in the TF qualifiers to get here, as well as obviously your ladder score is awesome. So a bunch of different ways to make the cut, but you had to perform against 24 players. It's pretty amazing. We've got 3 other people, of course, in the call right now. Becca, that's Primal, and Keen. Let's see. I'll go down the list. I'll let everybody ask a question. We'll start with Keen because you've been analyzing all the different lobbies throughout the day. Question for Robin Songs here.
First off, congratulations. Yeah, I've seen your practice firsthand the last couple of days. I'm really glad it played
Thank
off
you.
for you. And I'm curious for you. We saw a lot of different comps today. It seemed like anything pretty much could win. For you, did it feel like you mentioned Astro Snipers? Were there any other comps you were kind of on the lookout for, or did you really feel like you wanted to just hone in on just one or two here?
So like for me, my game plan was like I can't just play whatever the game gets me, like be too flexible, because I feel like other players will beat me if I do that. Like I feel like GVA and other players are more flexible than me. So my game plan was actually just to play Astro Snipers, but if it's Dwarf Planet, I'll play Mech because Mech is OP on that planet. And then if it's thanks to you actually, I read your Twitter thing. It actually helped me a lot. You said play Cybers in which galaxies? Galactic Armory and Treasure Trove. Play Cybers in that, right? And it actually helped me a lot because that's actually was my game plan. So Galactic Armory, Treasure Trove is Cybers, Dwarf Planet is Mech, and then everything else is Astro Snipers.
Interesting. All right. That's Primal. Do you have any questions for our champion today?
Yeah, first of all, congrats, dude.
Thank you.
You're so good at tournaments. What the hell?
Thank
So
you.
I actually wondered, what do you think makes you so good at tournaments, right? Because I think it's kind of a different animal. And you talked a little bit about your prep, like talking to players who are really high ranked but are not in the tournament about their perspective. So is that something you typically do, or just sort of walk us through quickly how you approach tournament prep?
Tournament prep, honestly, I think one of the biggest things is like don't get too nervous, right? Like don't if you get super nervous and you're like scared and stuff, then you obviously won't play well. So just like I don't know, that's kind of a like don't be nervous. It's like hard to say, but tournament prep, just grind solo queue, add players, get information, and come up with a game plan. I guess like game plan when going in. When I in the TL tournament, my game plan was just to spam Mech when Mech was like OP, and then my game plan for the finals was to spam Snake, and then I had a game plan for this. So I feel like, well, for me personally, like I need like a game plan when I go in. I can't just like play what the game gives me and stuff like that. After every game, take a deep breath, like use the restroom, drink some water, like calm yourself, like close your eyes and like just like chill. Don't get too excited when you're ahead because anything can happen. And yeah,
it's a very holistic approach to it. So because you got to take care of the body as well as the mind. We'll give one quick question to Becca because I don't want to cut anyone else. So I know our interview is going a little bit long, but go for it. Do you have any questions for Robin Songs?
Well, I just really like what he's saying about just being able to take advice from other players who might have had like more experience with certain patch, like certain parts of the patch. And I wanted to ask if do you think this is one of the better patches of TFT, or if not, like which one was your favorite patch?
This patch is like one of the best patches, honestly. Like I think the goal of the game is to make every comp as like fair as possible. There's no one super OP comp. Every item is like makeable. I think the game is at a really good place right now. As far as like the most fun patch, that's subjective, but I think the most fun was Mech Infiltrator patch, even though a lot of people hated it.
Was
but that
it
was
fun because you won a lot on it?
Yeah, that was like
I mean, winning is fun.
Like it was most fun for me because I think that comp is fun and I can just like play it every game. But I think the game is at a much better place right now.
Okay. I like that.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, I think we'll leave it there. But thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations again on your performance today. Good luck tomorrow. Any shout outs to your fans or anything real quick before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to shout out Soju. He made this comment. I don't know if you guys saw. He said, remember how the first game I was in Lobby C? He wrote a comment. He said, "Congratulations on players in Lobby C. You guys high rolled Robin."
Oh my
And
god.
And then that honestly gave me motivation to kind of just like prove them wrong. I know it was just friendly banter, but yeah. Shout out
Sometimes it
Soju for
takes that,
giving
you
me
know?
more motivation.
Sometimes that fire gets lit underneath you and it does even more for you. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Congratulations again. Good luck tomorrow. Get some sleep, get some rest, and get ready because it's going to be awesome. We'll see you then.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, there you go, guys. Robin Songs in the call for a moment after having a most triumphant day of Teamfight Tactics here at the Galaxies OCENA Finals presented by Juke.gg. Speaking of Juke.gg, guys. We're winding down to an end today, but that just means you can explore the rest of Juke.gg because they do a great job of aggregating a lot of different esports. You can find tons of fun stuff to watch, including League of Legends and Valorant, obviously, the other great Riot titles that are out there. But you've also got those commands in chat that you can use one more time. Exclamation point scores to just review what we've seen today. Exclamation point POV to maybe go and follow a couple streams that you want to check out later or tomorrow when we come back. But yeah, that's thanks to them for sponsoring the tournament and for being so awesome in terms of supporting TFT. Here is tomorrow's lobby. Once again, Robin Songs, Grand Vice, Mismatched Socks, Cottontail Polt, Kiyun, Kuramex, and Ubo. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be a slightly different point standing as well. We'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. But guys, any final thoughts on this this lobby tomorrow?
Oof.
Dude,
That is a lobby.
best competitive TFT.
I'm sweating just looking at that lobby.
Yeah.
That is like, I really honestly think like that is the most exciting lobby of Teamfight Tactics I have ever seen.
Yeah.
It's
Best
got
players.
so many. Yeah.
Best players from the best region in the biggest tournament we've had all year.
Oh
It's gonna be great.
God, Keen just keeps dropping the best region part with anything.
Oh, is that
you know-
controversial?
Well, we'll
You're
we'll
talking about
see.
Ubo.
Like we've got the
Oh,
overall
that's right,
championships
that's right.
coming later this year, right? Like so best region has yet to be determined. But I think North America is definitely in the running. That said, you know, NA, you know, the thing is whenever there's been like interregional competition, NA has always snuck in there. I've been a little bit better. But
Hold
we'll
up.
see.
No, it's
see.
OCENA, bro. Obo.
OCENA. Hey, I mean, he's got a real shot, right? I mean, he played great all day. He's in the top 8. You know, it's we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Our final thoughts here. I wanna go through, and I always ask my co-caster this on every TFT broadcast I'm on. At the end of the day, you know, we'll start with you, Becca. What's your big takeaways for the day? What are your final thoughts for what we've seen today?
I mean, I think if we're talking real talk, a lot of people have had a lot of doubts about competitive TFT. But I think this tournament just like really reaffirmed some of my doubts. And I guess as long as some of the technical issues and like the structuring gets worked out, I'm really hopeful for the game and its competitive future. So I'm excited. I was a little scared and nervous about having to cast, but I mean, I
You did
just
fine.
feel really good. I know I feel really good about the state of the game that I play like every day, day in and day out. So yeah, this was awesome. This experience was super cool. And I'm excited for tomorrow.
All right. Well, that's Primal. What are your final thoughts on the day after all we've seen today? What jumps out?
I think that the Riot Balance team is really good because imagine this patch is like 10-15 or 10-14. I don't think the results would have been, or the tournament would have been nearly as compelling, but we saw different stuff succeed at different points. And we saw players who are able to play really flexibly. Even Robin, I think he's sort of underselling how flexible he was, are managing to succeed. So I think the game is in a really good place. And I think it has a competitive mastery curve that's really, really good. So really happy to see the game in this state.
All right. And our one-man analyst desk, Keen, what do you got?
I just want to say that I really appreciated what Robin said about this being the best patch yet, and echoing comments made by Primal and Becca as well. It's been such a great patch. I only came back maybe a month ago to start playing this game again, and I've been really surprised and really happy with the state of the game. And so I would like to shout out to Mort Dog and say that perhaps, Mort, you have in fact Mort Dogged TFT. So congratulations.
I think that's a negative thing, but
I mean, yeah, it's
Like
we'll take it as a positive.
It's good. You know, it's free. Mort Dog. You know, we're all about flipping stereotypes on words and making them good again.
Saved it. Well done. All right. Well, on that note, I think that's going to do it for us tonight from the Teamfight Tactics Galaxies OCENA Finals presented by Juked. Thanks for watching, guys. From Doa, Becca, that's Primal, and me and Mr. Keen. We had a great day. We hope you did too. Make sure you come back tomorrow because it's the final 8. We're going to see who wins all that cash, who gets that spot in the Galaxies Championship worldwide. It's going to be awesome. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching.